Is Drake's new Beatles tattoo petty or in bad taste? I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. Drake has been a big deal on the charts for the last little while. Since 2009, I checked this out. He's charted 45 hits on the Billboard Top 40 charts in July 2018. He had 7 songs in the Billboard Top 10, beating the previous record by the Beatles, which was 5. 3 months later, he broke the record for top 10 tunes in a single year. Well, now Drake has beat the Beatles' record for charted songs on the Billboard Hot 100 in the top 10. Drake now has 35 charted songs, so the Beatles now have 34. So to celebrate, what he could have done is, he got the Beatles, Abbey Road, 4 Beatles crossing Abbey Road tattoo on his arm. Now that would have been cheeky, but still fine. But instead what he did is, we'll put it up here. He's got the Abbey Road Beatles with him in front with his arm up, looking back at the Beatles, which has angered, a lot of Beatles fans. This is some of the quotes. They're saying things like, the Beatles earned their sales records the old-fashioned way. People actually bought the music. Or another one, nobody will remember Drake in 50 years. Here's another we found. No, he has so many records because nowadays when you drop an album, every single track is individually streamable, making it chart eligible. In the Beatles or Michael Jackson's or Madonna's day, you would release a single and then maybe months later release another one. Understand the difference. Plus this one, the Beatles have more number 1 singles, sold more music than anybody in history, have more number 1 albums than anybody in history, still sells millions each year, and achieved this without streaming. The only way he'll beat the Beatles is in his own mind. I've said this many times. The younger generation will be different than our generation. We've had cocky artists back in the 60s, even before then. There's always cocky artists. There's a lot more these days. I'm not just saying because I want to sound like an old guy. Lately, it seems, and sorry I've said this many times, when you become a celebrity these days, more so than before, I think, it gives you permission to stop maturing emotionally. You just, the Beatles were cheeky in their time, of course. The Jesus Christ comment by John Lennon. They did their own share of that. But the comment on whether the Beatles, or Drake rather, will be remembered in 50 years, I will not be here. I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. It's easy for people to say that, and it's not our music. If you're watching this channel, you're not necessarily listening to Drake. My wife, who's sitting over there, Shannon, made me a mixtape on the way here on vacation, and we were listening to it, and there was some Drake on there, and I thought, hey, this stuff's pretty good. I'm not going to go out and buy it. I'm not going to listen to it unless you play it for me, but I get it. I can see why people like it, but it's not music for me. The Bruce Hornsby interview we just had, he was saying, that's kiddie music. It's not music for me. My parents, when I was 15 years old, were not listening to they were not listening to Dreamweaver by Gary Wright. That's a pretty even song. But the only thing we had in common back then was the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. We weren't listening to the same music, nor should we have. So it's normal for us to look back and say, well, it's sacrilegious to downplay anything the Beatles did. But a record's a record, and he beat it, and the rules are different, and I understand it's different, but it is what it is. To me, it's just how old's Drake? I got to look this up. Okay, he's 32 years old. Is he old enough to know better? Well, I still thought I knew everything at 32. But remember, he's been famous for quite a few years. And that does something to you. I've said many times, if I was famous at 17, I'd be dead now. But is it a stupid thing to do? It's not necessary. Again, you've heard me say this on this channel many times. Does he have to do that? I don't think so. But he can, and he did it. We're going to get pissed off and move on. He'll never be the Beatles. The Beatles were a phenomenon, and Drake is Drake. He's a very successful artist for the people that he performs for. But the Beatles were a phenomenon, and I don't think that can happen again. Not in that form, and if it happens, it'll be very different, for different reasons with different rules. What do you think, though? And if you don't like it, you're allowed to bitch all you want. A lot of you may not, and by the way, are you Drake fans? Let me know. I'm kind of curious. Like I said, I listened to it and I went, I get it. I'm not going to buy it, but I get it. I understand it. I play Drake on my radio show in Vancouver every single night. I understand. But what do you think? Make sure it's our last night in in Kelowna, or Penticton rather. We're going through Kelowna tomorrow, and we'll be back at home tomorrow. What time, Shan?
7.
7 p.m. We'll be back home. Anyway, thanks for everyone who watched our videos. I know we're not in front of the green screen like we usually do or in the studio, but thanks an awful lot for that. We've got a subscription service coming up for this channel where you'll get a lot of bonus footage, whole interviews intact from way back when. A lot of those, by the way. We've got tons coming up, and we'll let you know more about that as soon as we got it figured out. So there you go. And we're hiring some writers too that are going to do some stuff for our channel. But anyway, make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. Share away, please. You know what? It's harder for me to share a video of mine on a particular, let's say, Genesis group or Supertramp group or something like that. It's easier if you do it than I share my own videos. So if you can do that, that would be great. Anyway, I'm John Boat from Rock History Music. Take care.